Yes, good morning, dear viewers of Gaza Media. Today is Saturday, the 18th of April, and we are exactly 1 month to the convention, LECDA-USA convention that is going to take place in Atlanta, Georgia, where all the BLM people resident in America will be heading to Atlanta. And of course, people will be coming from international, from Europe and from Canada and even Cameroon. So it's going to be a wonderful weekend. I think that will be one of the biggest convention uh, as we move into the season after a terrible winter with the cold that just happened. And before we dive into today's topic, I really want us to share the link, invite family, friends to tune in to this wonderful presentation that will have a very strong panelists, high personality here that will be discussing some of the activities happening in the BLM. And of course, you know that last year or last 2 years, the BLM Paradise Vision 2050 was marketed and was adopted a year ago. So what has happened? What would the BLM be in 2050 as the short memo that are sent into the BLM Hub forum? So please, again, if you are tuning in, if you are listening to us, share the link, invite friends, invite family to come and listen to this presentation because it is very important. A lot of people have been asking questions, what has the building paradise been doing, or what is it all about? What is it? But I believe that there's a lot that has been going on. I'm privileged to have some of those information. The idea of this Lebialem 2050 actually started in 2023. At that time, it was a 5-year development plan called Agenda 28, where the BOT went and sat and thought that in 5 years, not much can be done to the BLMO in terms of development. Then the idea of a 25-year plan came into the line where in the 2024 convention, it was adopted that the BLM should have a plan for a 25-year plan to develop the BLM, to transform the BLM into a near paradise. And that idea was marketed to the BLM public. And in 2025 in Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona, it was adopted where the 5 funds left Cameroon and visited America, including the parliamentarian and other dignitary. And there was a lot of discussion that took place in Arizona. And during that time, there were resolutions that they were taking. So in this panel and in this morning, we would like to hear from some of the panelists what has actually happened, what has transformed since the last convention up to this moment, and in what area are they working to transform or to make sure that in 2025 or in 2050, the BLM should become a paradise. We're already 1 year gone. So my question would be, is it too early to ask what have they done in a year time, or is there something that they are doing that they want to share to the public? Many of you may have heard about the project that was launched by the CEO of LECDA-USA, Mr. Tendem Pascal, concerning education, where they have sent, where they are sponsoring, they are currently sponsoring some projects in educational sector in the BLM. I believe that is one of the area, but this has come on the conversation that we would like to dive into. Like I said, please, if you are joining me for the first time or if you are listening to me, share the link. I've just posted the link now on WhatsApp. Our phone number are streaming under the screen, 606-545-2490. As time goes on, we'll be taking questions from the audience. If you have anything that you want to intersect, at that time we'll announce, and this presentation is going to last for about an hour. Let me bring in the panelists here so that we can begin to dive into this conversation proper. Yes, we'll have Professor Ngezem, we'll have the pro officer. I would like to welcome all of you here. You have Professor Ngezem is here, the Public Relations Officer, Mr. Oliver Asa, and the CEO himself, Mr. Etendem Pascal. Let me unmute you guys here. And Mr. CEO, let me start with you.
Yes, Director, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be on your platform to talk about Lebialem issues.
Okay. Yes, Professor Ngezen, it's been a long time. I know you are the
Yes,
chair of the
Director.
convention. Yes,
Congratulations upon sustaining this program. You interviewed me many years ago when they were just building this idea, and it's my pleasure to join this panel of experts to share our views about the BLM advancement.
yes. And the public relation officer, this is somebody I communicate with a lot, uh, who is a kind of media liaison with the organization to the outside media.
Yes, thank you very much, Director of Gaza Media. It's my pleasure to be here today. This is the last year for this current executive, and my CEO Pascal TNM says all the time, when you are in the dance floor, when it gets to the climax, that is where you show your best abilities. So we have to make sure that it is not how you start, it is how you end that matter. So we're trying to do our best to finish this match very successfully and powerfully. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. I would like this conversation to be interactive, not just me posing questions that people should be answering, but I would like us to really discuss this thing in the form of interactive manner. And the first thing that I would like us to talk about is briefly the convention of last year. There were certain resolutions that were taken, uh, like I mentioned on my introduction. The idea of that was marketed. The internet, the high-speed internet. Uh, then there were also about the health, the telehealth. That was also one of the listing that was adopted. The fund were supposed to go home, maybe play their own role. They were supposed to be uh, revising the constitution or the LEGDA Cameroon, and of course having some workshop. So I just want us to maybe take in of this topic or in of this area, and let's see where we have gone or where we have not been able to succeed. You see, or maybe I start with you.
Yes, again, thank you so much, Director. And before I go ahead to answer your question, I just want to appreciate the panelists here and you in particular for providing LECDA-USA this platform. And of course, is to remind the audience that I might not look very fresh and smart because it's pretty early here relatively. So if you don't see a very bright face from your CEO, know that that is what is happening. Yes, Director, let me start. This is where I will start before we go to the resolutions. When you look at Resolution 2 of the Arizona Convention, what it says is that the Lebialem Paradise Initiative is a legacy initiative and that it is going to transcend the LEGDA USA executive. What that means is that uh, the 25 years agenda that we have adopted is something that the next CEO and the next team they're going to pick up where we end. So right now, what we are working on is not just about us looking for some short-term goals to achieve as a board, and then show the BLM people that this is what we did, and so and so we're champions. But it's about us laying a solid foundation in such a way that when the next team comes in place, they actually say, where are we? In terms of achieving the blueprint, where are we? They answer that question and they pick up from where the previous board ended and they move forward. With regards to the Arizona Convention, we had some solid resolutions, Director. You were in the conclave meeting that we had with the funds, including the parliamentarians, some Lebialem elite, and even the CEO of LEGDA EU. We were in that meeting and we took some very solid resolutions, which I posted in the Lebialem Hub, and all all Lebialem fora, they do have that resolution and are even share it with individuals because that is a commitment that nobody can back off from as we continue to pursue this agenda. Unfortunately, the way the resolutions were structured, unfortunately, there is a step that has to be accomplished because the Lebialem Paradise is not a diaspora agenda. It's not like an agenda for LECDA-USA. They might have initiated that, but they don't own it. It's not their responsibility to go develop the BLM soul. So we have to tap in LECDA EU, LECDA Canada, all the BLM diaspora. Most importantly, the BLMers who are based in Cameroon. And so to ensure that that happened, one of the resolution was that when the funds get to Cameroon, they're going to revamp that Cameroon. That way, when the home chapter is revamped, we can now proceed to form the Lebialem Paradise Commission that is going to encompass or include delegates from all the active LECDA chapters. That has not happened. We are working with the funds to ensure that that happens so we can move to the next stage. But as I speak to you, that has not happened. A lot of things that we have to do when it comes to Cameroon, they don't go the way we want. We know the political climate there. We know we just had the presidential election. Or again, it has not happened. Have we abandoned that? No. But in due time, we are going to ensure that that happens. And what we have today is that document, the resolutions that the 5 Lebialem funds who attended that convention took that commitment on behalf of the rest of the 17 funds. And we are going to hold them on that.
Yes, Mr. CEO, I'm glad that we're talking about continuity. Let me rewind the tape a little bit. Prof, you were the former CEO, and before you took over, there was LECDA US. It was almost dead at that time. I remember you sending messages and even motivating people to contribute $10 to really revamp the organization. But based on what the current CEO is saying, is like building a structure where there will be continuity, where in the next 25 and now 24 years left to get to a point. Uh, in your opinion, what do you think need to be done to maybe to keep this momentum in that track so that we don't have a lapse where you came in at your own time, where there was nothing to start with. You start from maybe from zero, then you build up. You were the pioneer of LECDA Life. We'll talk that on another time. But my question to you would be, what do you think need to be done to keep this momentum, just based on what the CEO was saying?
Well, thank you, Director, and thank you, CEO Tienden Pascal, and thank you, Pro Mr. Oliver Sir, for joining this panel. And thank you for being very blunt, CEO Pascal Tienden. And one key thing from Arizona was that it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. And you cannot just leave this on the laps of the diaspora. Those in Cameroon must be proactive as well. And one of the central important thing from Arizona was the idea that this is an ongoing project. It is not for this particular CEO. It is for all other CEOs to follow. Lebialem Paradise 2050, from vision to action. That should be the stepping stone of every other CEO who comes in. And you are aware that we have a population of about 144,560 as of 2005. That's the latest we have. And we have 36 public and private secondary schools and 205 nursery and elementary schools. Our people are in dire need of unity, of oneness to advance. And when I took over LECDA-USA, it was almost dead, as you said. We initiated with something called 1010. And 1010 was tapped from a type of manure that is used to fertilize gardens in the US. 1010, that's why I initiated the idea of $10, $10. And we built that momentum. And I'm so happy that after that, Professor Michael Ndemano came and took over, took it to a different level. Now, Mr. Pascal Tianima has taken it even to a higher level. Yes, for us to succeed, we need to make sure we stay focused, we stay united. Because, for instance, take the case of these internet hubs that we are trying to raise money for. This is something that's very critical. Putting in place 150 computers is not a small task, and it takes even those at home to join us in making sure we advance that. To make sure that at least 50 hubs in 50 computers in each hub are there is very, very important. And we know this is something very critical. And maybe our people need to know that for you to fight hard, you need to know what it means. What does it mean for you? What we are trying to do here is to make Lebialem advance. We need to enhance the infrastructure of Lebialem. We need to enhance the healthcare, education, economic opportunities, housing and urban development, security and governance, communication and technology. All those things combine environmental management, social services, transportation accessibility. These are things that we need. And for us to attain this goal, we need to be together. We need that there should be no observers. Everybody should be an active participant. And it cannot go, as we mentioned, it cannot go without education. We need education to do this. For example, these hubs, how will the hubs be beneficial? There will be online education, job opportunities, e-governance, e-commerce, digital literacy. These are things that will empower us more, and the BLM will be far developed. Without coming together, this can be paper tigers. We can come up with all the very beautiful statements as we like, but we need to make sure we attain the goals. Now, it is an opportunity to call on our funds to keep to their words. One important thing is that these diasporans are supporting their local communities, and we need them to back us up. We need them to come up, and one of the key things is to create LECDA, to have a very vibrant LECDA Cameroon. Without a vibrant LECDA Cameroon, the diaspora is going to shoulder every responsibility, and that cannot be possible. It cannot be achieved easily. It's a daunting task. So again, thank you, sir, for the question, and I hope I have expressed my thoughts.
We cannot hear you, Gaza Media.
I was muted because there was some noise behind here. Okay, Prof, thank you so much for that wonderful response. And you really touched some basic aspects of human development and community development as well. Let me ask you this. Prior to, I would say about 10 years ago, we did not have access to internet or to the communication that we have now, where maybe at some point marketing and organization like LECDA-USA was a little bit challenging in your area of public relations, where you are relating to the outside community, apart from the BLM. Have where do you see the challenges and where do you see opportunity where LECDA can shoulder itself more than just within our own small circle, like say LECDA, the BLM forum, LECDA hub, and we'll go to a convention and sit in the hall like that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gaza Media, for asking that question. I think it's a very important one. Yeah, I have always advanced the same idea that the development of the BLM, and more importantly, the realization of Lebialem Paradise Vision 2050, cannot be achieved by only the people who have their origins and their roots from Lebialem. Because there are a lot of organizations for profit and not for profit that have enormous resources that they can donate to help Lebialem prosper. So I had the conversation a while with the CEO, Mr. Tinem Pascal. So we looked at our website and we said, okay, now if we want to go out there and solicit for funds from this humongous organization, how are we going to convince them? So we said, okay, we have to revamp our website, and that's exactly what we're doing now. So that is ongoing and is very, very far advanced. So once that website is well done and finished, we will hit the ground rolling. Because if we approach, for instance, the Bill Gates Foundation, the Clinton Foundation, the Rockefellers, and even other companies like Microsoft, Apple, and so on, for donations, Coca-Cola, which is really investing a lot in Africa, is very much in my mind. Then we have a website that we're able to show them exactly who we are, what we are doing, what we have done so far, and where we are going. And this story cannot be told better than our website. So that would be our main portal. And you said it really right, that we have a lot of means of communication now, the WhatsApp and all social media that we didn't have it 10 years ago. And that is helping a lot. And that's how we are here today, that we are listening to Gaza Media, and the public can be able to listen to us. And just one thing that I wanted to pinpoint here, which I consider to be the hallmarks of not just LECDA USA, but especially the entire Lebialem people, and especially the Lebialem Paradise Vision 2050. So I came up with these hallmarks, which will be accountability, stability, continuity, sustainability, and adaptability. And these five points in the hallmark have to do with everything that you want to do in project management when it's meant to be successful. Because accountability, in the sense that when people contribute money, they want to see that it's well utilized, and we are giving them feedback on how the money has been used. Whilst stability, in that we have to have an environment where all the stakeholders are on board. And continuity, which the CEO piloted a lot earlier, is that we don't be in a situation where Professor Ngesem came into. So we don't want it to become a relay so that each leadership ends somewhere, and the next one picks up the lap from there and move forward. That's how we want it to be, so that everybody is not coming and trying to start their own little thing. Then sustainability is that if you are carrying out any project and you are either too slow or too fast, then you will not be able to really make it successful. So we have to go at a pace that is sustainable. And finally, why adaptability? Because in project management, when you set out goals, you set your dream, you set out goals, then now those goals, you take them and break into milestones. As you are going along, you will run into some hurdles, some humps, some pitfalls, and therefore you have to adapt with the new dispensation to move ahead. So that's why I came out with that. Over.
Okay. Yes, okay, Mr. Pro, thank you so much for that eloquent presentation, and to happy to hear about the website that the current executive or the board is actually working on. Mr. CEO, let's go now to some concrete and to some detail. The project, the leadership has dished out I think over 30,000 US dollars, about 32 or so, or that amount, or they have signed that bill or that budget to sponsor projects in the BLM. I want you to maybe tell the BLM people what at this stage of the project now. We launched, I think, was December or January. So at some of the conversation, I was asking about the timeline. So can you brief us on what the steps are right now when concerned to those projects?
Yes, Director, thank you so much. Even before the briefing, you in your monologue you mentioned that the high-speed internet is the landmark project that was adopted at the Arizona convention, but you see it featuring now as the key project for the Atlanta convention. And somebody will be wondering, why is it featuring again? You know, before we met in Arizona, we prepared this project to present in Arizona. Where we presented it with all the advantages, it was adopted. But when it comes to just following, after listening to the PRO, You see that the project has to be feasible. Those who attended the convention, they knew about it. In terms of preparation and finance, were we prepared? No. So that is a project that we needed to reintroduce it to the broader Lebialem people. That way we could now raise enough funds to be able to embark on it. But in the meantime, when we do a need assessment across the BLM, for so many years, people did not go home because of insecurity. They complain about insecurity. Now, last year, one of the main reasons why a lot of children and even the parents did not go back to the BLM was because of lack of education. They want to go to school. Even with security, if the teachers are not yet back home, if the facilities for them to study they are not there, they will not go back home because they want education. So that is why we did a quick analysis and we see that there's a dying need for LECDA-USA to throw some support in the education sector to see how we can facilitate the people going back home, to go and study from their comfort zone. A lot of our a lot of parents, they were suffering, especially in the manual, living in horrible conditions because they want to stay there and have access to education. So that is why we specifically asked for project in the education sector. With regards to implementation, we did ask condoms to identify, the different condoms, they know where their needs are, to identify areas in the education sector. And of course, that was open to all the 17 condoms. Only 8 applied. And Professor Gesem is here. You have rescued LECDA-USA. One of the things that we are trying to do now is to regain confidence. Because the things that we say we'll do, even though we'll do it, some people still carry the old LECDA. They don't believe that we can do things until we start doing it. Then they come to a realization that, oh, maybe it is not the LECDA that we have perceived it to be. So only 8 condoms they did apply, and we have 8 applications. This, and the way you saw the director, you saw the initial letter that I sent out demanding for applications, and it was a detailed letter. It's not just we have to the way the projects were, they had to give a detailed explanation of the project, how to implement it. So they do have timelines. I'm really happy that those that had very short timelines, like the one of the textile, giving assistance to Mombi, that is the first project, and director, you covered that one. That project has been completed and even reported by you. As we speak, that for a sorter, that was also a short-term project. The installation of solar panels at GTC sorter, that one is about 90% completed, because I got videos. I've not sent that to you, but that is a project that is already completed. Some of these projects are part of a bigger project that the fundum had already engaged, and LECDA will be coming in to sponsor a particular aspect of this large project. And when they are completed, they will be reported to the BLM people. And of course, director, nobody knows it better than you, that to ensure accountability, the LECDA-USA, the BOT, just signed a memorandum of understanding with Gaza Media that you are going to follow and report on this project. And that is not just to show awareness, but to also ensure that there is some level of accountability, that the BLM people are not just contributing this money. We come here, we will brag, but at the end of the day, nothing is being done. But you, and I like your objectivities from the time I've been working with you, that I'm one of, even though I'm a friend to you, I'm very careful, because I know that when it comes to holding people accountable, and you are really good at that. So with regard to implementation, again, that is what I can say for now. That when we meet in Atlanta at the Atlanta Convention, the slot that has been allocated for Fundum report will be an opportunity for every Fundum president to come and report on the state of implementation of this project. Director, you're muted.
I was trying to, sorry about that. I was trying to look for that clip, but I think I will, before we finish up, I really want to play it here live so that people should see what happened at Mount Bean. Thank you for saying that, when it comes to Gaza media, I think Paul was saying that I've been here a long time because there are certain guidelines that Gaza media has as a policy, not just me, by the way. Prof, yes, we talk
Yes.
about this. Yes, we talk about this project that happened in your area. That you were one of the main facilitator of this project. I really wanted to play it out, but I will get into it so that our audience can see because there are certain things that I really want people to really look at something. It's just not that people sit here and talk, but sometimes action also speak louder. Can you vividly how you choose a particular area, a technical school, and a textile workshop? Any idea how you conceive that idea? Just vividly.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, CEO, for that very detailed explanation of what you just expressed, what has been going on. And thank you, Director, for the question. Yes, Mongbi was very proactive. When applications were sought, we got together and figure out what would be the best thing for the fundum. And after considering different types of education, for example, when the field of education, we have formal education, we have informal education, we have non-formal education, vocational education, special education, and online all those things. A plethora of different forms of education. So we thought that if we were to come up with something that can already create jobs for graduates, it will be very impactful. And that is the reason we elected to apply for Government Technical College, GTC Mokmbi, in the textile area. Because we wanted a situation where students can graduate and be job creators, to create jobs on their own. You see the level of employment in Cameroon. In Cameroon now, even people with master's degree are bike riders. I'm not saying there's anything wrong in being bike riders, but it's not the job they were educated to do. They didn't go to school to come and be riding bikes and drawing people here and there. If you choose to do that's your decision. You can choose to do whatever thing you want to do. Education doesn't necessarily mean that you can sit in an office. You can go to school and just be a fisherman. If you want to be, that's your choice. But in this case, that is not the choice of many. So our goal was how many people have graduated from Mongbi Fundam? Have they had jobs? No. Because of this unemployment, let's go for something more feasible because if we can focus on this technical aspect, children will be tailors. They will come up with tailoring and they will be able to design clothes and sew and do all those things. And by doing so, they will also employ members of their own community. As a tailor, you need some people they can also subsequently train. You need some people who will measure and cut for you. They will be paid. And that will be a form of livelihood that we're creating. And we make sure we firmly adhere to the standing rules LECDA-USA sent. We follow exactly that and we prepare the parents for this. We announce to the population that LECDA-USA under the CEO Pascal Etiendem has sent this has requested applications and we've applied. When I was awarded $4,000, we acknowledge the population on different platforms, even locally knew something has happened. The Lebialem people in the US are helping. They knew that. And when the things were purchased in Douala, they were part of it. We were able to invite a technician from Douala to come install these things in Mogumbi Fundam. There were video cameras. And students were aware that something was coming. You see the way they prepare even for songs to appreciate what LECDA USA did. It was not something that just surprised them. They knew. The principal was aware. So it was a community thing. I want to use that as an example of what is expected of other fandoms. Because this CEO will go, another CEO will come. Before this CEO leaves, if all have not done so, they need to do that. Because that speaks about accountability, speaks to accountability. For instance, when you tell the population that $4,000 has been given, 3,000 has been 75% was 3,000 has been paid, and this is what we've done. They've completed this, the evidence, this, the data, this is what has been paid for. You can verify. It speaks about transparency, and that is what we've done. And students are very excited, and therefore, LECDA US will never be forgotten because of that. Those who learn from these keys, who are able to live lives that are more productive because of this type of very valuable contribution to their lives, will always not forget because it is a legacy and it's transformational in their lives. Thank you.
Yes, Prof. I really like the way you really put it, and it's like you were reading my mind because I saw this like one of the things that I always hammer here of Gazamed. Those who have been following me know it, as the CEO was saying, the issue of transparency and accountability. You give money to people, they will come back and begin to tell you some other stories, which I find it sometimes very, very difficult to comprehend. Somebody will tell you that, hey, if you send the money right now, the project will start. Immediately the money get to them, you start hearing of, oh, that man did not come, or just wait, next week we'll do this. Then finally, the thing just water down like that. But seeing the level of which that you are saying, I've also advocated for technical education in our area. Or we knew what we have gone through for the past 8, 9 years. Most of our infrastructure are down. If we can get the manpower, I always compare Boya, Limbe, with all the story building, with all the infrastructure, that is there any way we could develop our technical education in the BLM, born in the BLM, build in the BLM, and live in the BLM? So I think choosing that area of education will also gear towards building the BLM paradise in the infrastructure wise. Why not giving the employment opportunity as the area said? CEO, now I know there's one area that we would like to touch on, but before we get into that, LECDA Live is a very precious something for LECDA USA and for the BLM community as well. Uh, I really wanted that you talk of a sorter, but I want to know, have you received information from other funders that receive this bulletin, where they are exactly? Do you have that documentation that this is where we are, this is what we have been doing?
For now, again, even before demanding that information, we have the vice CEO, who is the director of project, and all these projects, they were well documented in terms of timeline. I recently reached back to Esota because from the project application, they were supposed to have finished by now, you know. So when I got back to them, they sent me an adjustment letter. If I knew that you would send this question, I would have brought that letter to you, asking for an extension. So we monitor these timelines, and when a particular timeline elapses and we don't see anything, we start reaching back. You know what I mean? So if we have not received any information, but we have reached out to those fandoms that, according to the application, they're supposed to have completed a project, and they have given us information on the adjusted timelines. You know, again, we are all we have unforeseen circumstances. You know, that they could say, okay, within this time, and one or two things might not go as planned, and they don't meet that deadline. But trust me, we will need to know the new deadline. But in 30 days, like I said in my opening statement, in 30 days, the founder president, they are going to have an opportunity to say where the project, where they are in terms of implementation of this project at the Atlanta Convention, even
Uh,
including those who have completed. Yeah.
yes, Mr. CEO. I think we are 30 days to the convention. People need to donate money. This is LECDA-USA, I believe, is not a government institution where taxes are like kind of mandatory from your paycheck or for whatever you are doing. Look, LECDA-USA depend on free will contribution, and people contribute based on what is happening. So this idea of just giving a label, if there was a timeline, I will follow up with you. Uh, I will start monitoring, doing evaluation, going after these people. If somebody sent in an application and collected money that this was the timeline, they ought to have been reporting those projects so that will also motivate people in terms of fundraising. I believe, am I right in this direction?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. The We'll be giving. I believe we'll be able to get a lot some of the updates, especially as the vice CEO is in charge of projects, even before the convention, because as the CEO said, some of the projects are part of a bigger projects in some of the fandoms. So to be able to give a vivid uh, um, where they stand, sometimes it's a little more difficult when it's a part of a larger project, which means it will take longer to complete. Because, for example, if the road project that is being carried out in Lebanon, if they took part of that as part of the project, you see that's a humongous
No,
project
this
that
was no see, pro. This is an educational project. These were educational project, well crafted, well crafted. I don't want us to really mix. These were
okay.
educational project designed because per the CEO, children were wrestling in the West. They wanted them to come back so that they can go to school because they didn't have the privilege. They are spending exorbitant amount of money, stay in different regions to go to school. If they can come back and go to school in their community, then, but what I'm saying is, if you prepare a plan and submit for a sponsor, mean you already have a plan in place to execute that project. So this is what we're doing. I would like to communicate with you after this, get the names
And
of,
may I
of
just say something?
yes,
Yes, please. Just to encourage the BLM people, we should uh, we should learn to be very appreciative. I expected that every fundum that was given an award in light of this project should have sent a letter of thank you. I don't know whether they did or not. Thank you for that. Thank you for this. The purpose is, for example, the process that we need to learn how to generate income from big corporations like the Microsoft, the Bill Gates Foundation, maybe Elon Musk, and all these guys. When you have such an archive of thank you letters, it can be a backup, it can be evidence to send to the post. Look at how appreciative these people are. We are able to raise, you give them $4,000 and they wrote a letter, and you send those collection of letters as evidence of the sense of appreciation. That can easily facilitate them going towards the area, the desire to give more or even to help us. This idea of just taking things and just going quiet is not a good thing. We should learn to acknowledge the receipt of such things, to say thank you, to implement and give evidence that it has been implemented, and to stay focused, to be razor focused on what the project was about, just as the director was saying. Except
yes.
maybe the road was towards school, I don't know, but it's okay.
No, no,
Thank you.
no, thank you, Prof. I think it was not giving an example that I think that the example did not tie. That's why I was saying no. Let not mix up there. Prof, I
Yeah.
thank you for reiterating the issue of having those archive for future fundraising. But we are talking fundraising that will happen. That the fundraising is supposed to be an ongoing process. I will have 1 month. People will not go and sit in Georgia before they donate money. I think you are the convention chair. You need money to rent that hall or to do whatever you have to do down there
Right.
in Atlanta. But the money has to come in there now. What I'm saying is people have to prepare or show even the initial phase or 30% of what they have been able to do so that we will use that within our community to do a fundraising, which will be on our next discussion, which will come up probably in about 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now. Uh, let's leave that one like that for now. The LECDA Live is something that, Prof, you sitting here, uh, this thing, LECDA Live was formed under your leadership due to the challenging that many of our people were facing at that time, or even it's an ongoing now. The other difference that we have now is that you no longer see the GoFundMe online again. You no longer see posting lists, a long list of people donating again, which is a very successful and a good thing. I will say this from my experience. When I joined LECDA Live, I think it used to be about $8 or so, but now it has gone down to like, I think recently I'm paying per person maybe about $4 or $5 or so, which means it depends on the value of the number. If I'm right or wrong, you could correct me here.
Yeah.
CEO, I want to ask you. I know you have been when you came in, your goal was to raise it up to 5,000, the population or the pool. Where have you been? Where have you at this point in time? Have you made that goal?
Yes, thank you, Director. Unfortunately, that goal of raising the membership of LEGDA Life to a minimum of 5,000 has not been met. We have made great progress, but that is why it is important for us to set goals, because if you don't set goals, you can be satisfied with the first step and you call that progress, and then you quit. But I'm still working so hard today because when I came in, I set a target. We have doubled the number that I met as the CEO, but I still feel not satisfied because I have set a goal and I want to make sure that I achieve that goal in order to assign the word success to that goal. So I'm still fighting so hard, you know. And I don't even want to talk so much about legal life without talking about Professor Ugezem, That is his signature achievement. You cannot tell the story of legal life without talking about where it originated. So this, and I refer to legal life as the price of the BLM. And anything that we do as a team, I always refer the BLM people to legal life. The beauty of working together, something that you can succeed because the name the BLM is attached to it. No particular fandom can claim ownership to legal life. And it is succeeding because all sons and daughters of the BLM, they have decided to come on board and make this program successful. Talking about achieving this goal, I want to seize this opportunity to make a special announcement, which is the first since the administrators met. The way to grow that program has been so challenging, because marketing LECDA Live, which currently is called LECDA Solidarity Group. When we filing it with the state of Georgia, we were advised not to use the name LECDA Life because the name LECDA Life kind of portray it as an insurance company, but we are not an insurance company. We are just a self-help group. So we have this change from LECDA Life to LECDA Solidarity Group. So that is one other thing too that I want the population out there to know. We might once in a while, it is difficult. This program started in 2018, so once in a while, even the administrators themselves, it's difficult to just switch and start calling it LECDA Solidarity Group because they've been used to LECDA Life for the past 7 years. So You will hear me say LECDA-Life, but the actual name now is LECDA Solidarity Group. The only way to grow this program is during presentation at funerals, or asking chapter meetings to present in their meetings. These opportunities are very limited. The only way, I said a double leadership, membership. The only way I've been able to do that is when I took over as a CEO, I did a new CEO, special enrollment. I even put $1,000 to encourage a fresh group that will really start with 20 plus members. And that is how I was able to bring in a good chunk of members. Last year, before the funds came to Arizona, I also did another special enrollment. And with this special enrollment, what we do is that we waive the wait period that is supposed to be 5 months, and we give like a month for everybody who registers to qualify at the end of that month. Now, the special announcement that I mentioned here is that I spoke to the administrators, and I kind of paint a picture that see what we have been able to do. And the only way we have done is special enrollment. As I hope I'm not asking for too much, but I also want to do, because it's an election year, I want to do a special CEO exit enrollment, and that was approved. And I've been waiting for a platform where I will make that announcement. And this is the right time for me to do it, because LECDA Solidarity Group will be doing another special enrollment from now through May. So on June 1st, or everyone who applies to join LECDA Solidarity Group, including those who had applied and they are waiting in queue to matriculate at the end of 5 months, we are going to, those individuals will be grandfather, and they will all matriculate on June 1st. And looking at the current membership, I am really hoping that with aggressive marketing, with good publicity, even before I hand over, I should be able to hit that 5,000 mark, because we are, I think, 4,300 and something. So if we can get in about 700 members through this special enrollment, we should be able to hit the 5,000. And then I can say I have succeeded because I've met my target. We have made great improvement, but I don't call that success because the target that I set for myself has not been met. So again, that special announcement, Director, you have been the mouthpiece of LECDA-USA, and in any way you can, please help to spread the word out there that we are running this special enrollment.
Okay.
May I add
Yes, go ahead.
some?
Yes.
And thank you, CEO, and the panel. As the director said, in 2018, we noticed that there were fundraising announcements everywhere. Go for me, go for me. We say we can do something. We cannot continue like this. Then we put in place LECDA-Life, which is called LECDA Solidarity Group or LECDA Solidarity for now. And it has been very successful. We need to learn how to take initiative, and it takes risk to do it because you can fail. People should not be scared of failure. Until you fail, you cannot succeed. When you fail, you learn how to do it next time. And I want to thank the Lebialem community for being very trusting. When it came to us sending information to them, let's create a policy. Let's create something that can help us. And there are certain things that people need to know. Number one, since its founding, LECDA Solidarity Group has paid more than $1 million to its members. That's more than 600 millions. No single person has had a lost member who has not been compensated. Everybody has benefited. Therefore, has been very successful. In terms of how much people pay when we lose someone, at times it's $2 something, at times it's $3. No longer, so it's not that expensive, especially when you compare with other policies around. The good thing about LECDA Solidarity Group too is that We don't do any medical checks. We don't say, in the US, as you know, there are many companies who will scrutinize you detailing to make sure you are not about to die before they send any policy to you. With LECDA, we meet you where you are, come as you are. Even if you're on life support and want to get LECDA, to join LECDA's solidarity group, you are always welcome to join. But one thing is that we do it as household. For example, I cannot have a family of 5 and decide just because I'm sick and go and just enroll myself. You put the whole house, it's a household, it's a family scheme. In that way, we are sure of sustainability. If we don't do that, people will just go to their families and pick the old and the sick, and the program will crash and burn. I know the Lebialem people will not want to do that. It is not some money that somebody looks forward to receiving. It is merely to sustain, to help. And when something happens, we give you $15,000. That's about 8 million francs in Cameroon to support you in giving your lost or bereaved or the bereaved family a type of helping hand. So I just thought I should add this and also thank the CEO for what he's done and how he's been pointing to the success of this program. And thank you, Director. We talked about this years back, you
Yes,
remember?
it was 2019.
And you refuse to grow old. You still look vibrant.
No, no, no.
Can I just add one more
Yes,
thing
yes.
to it, please?
Go ahead, Pro.
This is the minute for LECDA Solidarity Group. This is the minute. If you are listening live now, and even if you're going to listen the recording, it is your duty, incumbent upon you, to know that soliciting other members to join comes to your benefit. Because the more members we have, the less out of pocket. Because I joined Trum in Kudu. I brought I was president. I just handed over as president. I brought the whole 3/4 of a meeting into it. The people that did not join are people that had joined it prior to them, and because of that, the what we're paying out of pocket after each event is becoming smaller and smaller. And I know that the unofficial database of Lebialem people in the USA is over 6,000. Unofficial. Now, as I know that we are working on a database, and LECDA will be able, it's tough for LECDA to work on a database on its own. So what we are doing, we have started with Lekudo. We're hoping that all fandoms will develop a database for all the citizens in the US. And when they do that, that is when LECDA will be able to have that database. And imagine that we have 6,000 Lebialem people joining LECDA Live. Then we will not, the goal that the CEO said will be but chicken feet, right? So that is what we are sending the message out there. Go down out there, give the word, bring more people on board, save yourself some money, and Lebialem all grows better. Over.
Yes, I want to thank you so much for this wonderful presentation this morning. Exactly 1 hour, as we said, we have been very professional in managing our time. And in our next segment, we'll be diving into
Director,
yes,
yeah, I know we have exhausted our time.
yeah.
We are going to Atlanta. Professor Eugene Gesem is here.
That's why I was. You caught me off guard. Go ahead.
Wait,
Go ahead. You are the CEO.
we have our jobs and at times we do overtime. Even if we have to do some overtime, where we'll come back to talk. But Professor Eugene cannot come here and not give us the let him give us the tip of the iceberg. Then something before we come.
The teaser.
What's wrong? Because all our eyes, people. They have sent us discount, car rental, flight. Again, some people are logged in today just to hear how Atlanta has prepared. You cannot come and sit here and go without talking about that. Director.
Yes, that's so true. With the permission of the director, I know he was going to that direction too. Thank you, CEO. The two of you are having the same mind at this point. Yes, we are looking forward to LECDA-USA Convention 2026, which is to be hosted here in Atlanta, Georgia. We've secured a very beautiful hall for this event. It's going to hold on the 22nd and 23rd of May 2026. So we are just 1 month and about a few days to that convention. And we've been working over time to make sure we give you the best training you can ever have. We expect this convention to be the best. LECDA USA is headquartered here in Georgia, and we are aware of that. We are the capital of LECDA USA. I want to welcome you as in a special way because of that particular status of being the registering headquarters of LECDA USA. We have put so much in place. We've created different committees for cultural committee. We have the cultural committee, food committee. The cultural committee has been preparing. We want to showcase the Lebialem culture, and we're also looking forward to other traditional dances from out of state. So it's going to be very interesting. Additionally, we have the protocol and security, which is there. And more importantly, we have the outreach committee. We've been reaching out to many people in terms of inviting them, in terms of the fundraising for a target of the internal hubs in the BLM. One will be in Menji, one will be in Alo, one will be in Wabane. So we want to make sure one is in Fontem subdivision, one is in Alo subdivision, and one is in Wabane subdivision. In that way, we all benefit. And in this way, the more than 155,000 Lebialem people, as per the government statistics of 2025, they will benefit from that. The students, as I mentioned earlier, 36 public and private secondary schools will benefit. 205 nurseries and elementary schools will benefit. This is what we want to attain. So we invite everybody to come, and we are quite prepared. For example, we have, as the CEO said, a link that has been sent out. You have 20% discount on your air ticket, 20% discount on your rental, 20% discount on hotel. So everything is ready, and our girls, our ladies are preparing. I joined the food committee the other day. They've put the southern cuisine for you guys. And those who have not come to Atlanta, you better come, because Atlanta is a beautiful place.
That's right.
Georgia, a population of 11 million people. And Atlanta is a hub of that population. There's a place where many people don't know about. I want you to visit. It is called Underground around Atlanta. Are you aware there's another city underground? Many people have not even known this. They come here and drive on the surface and go. And of course, Atlanta has the busiest international airport in the whole world. This is not a joke. And the security, the climate is wonderful. Our roads are very big, and they don't have potholes. So you are in good hands. And on Friday, we have to prepare you for a good barbecue. On Friday, there will be cultural jamboree on Friday, which is May 22nd, 2026. On Saturday, May 23, 2026, there will be many other activities as well as the special state of LECDA USA from our CEO, Mr. Pascal Tendem. And Mr. Olivers, our pro, a veteran, a great musician, is bringing a college of musicians to entertain Lebialem people. So I look forward to welcoming you. It will be wonderful. You are safe, you are protected, and don't be scared. Just come. We will treat you as a special guest. And I call on those who have not contributed to do so. Please go ahead and pay your contribution. It's called the annual development dues. We want to transform Lebialem. Don't tell me that why are we sending money home without anything here? We are helping ourselves. For example, LECDA Solidarity Fund is the way we take care of ourselves here. It's not as though we've forgotten each other here. So yes, we develop back home, but we also do self-development here in the US. And my president, Mr. Anthony Asong, has been very proactive in this, and I appreciate it. So yes, there are different committees. You have the fundraising committee, we have the entertainment, the drinks committee, those who want to drink. We have some very good drinks here. Alcohol, non-alcoholic, all types of things. And of course, you have some very beautiful ladies who are good servers. They will give you enough food. They will serve you in a special way. They will give you all the arrow. We have pepper soup, all types of things. And yes, we have chiefs in our community. So you come to meet a great culture. Let me end at this point, and except you have a question for me.
Good
Thank you.
see,
Of
Prof.
course,
Yeah, good
of
seeing
course,
man.
of course, Prof. The one thing that I was waiting for you, just keep your mind, is that the vice CEO of LECDA USA is former Lanta, Dr.
Yes,
Mrs. I mean, Rebecca.
that's so true. She's a very strong lady, and she loves Leda. She loves Legda. She's very involved, and we are so proud to have her as our vice CEO. She is in our community. You can't let her down. She's the director of projects by her standing function in the LECDA USA Constitution. She's the director of project. So come join us here. We look forward to you. And there will be special Asamba dance. Special Asamba. We've been invited to places. The Bamileke groups have invited Lebialem. Can you come with Asamba? I went there with dance, and oh my goodness. If uh, if we were seeing the days where people can get married to 2 wives, 3 wives, I'm sure the Bamileke would have given us many of their daughters as compensation. We did well. We danced well.
Wow.
Ngote tunga Lebialem atansa fanbo. Lebialem paradise for whatever. Ngote tunga Lebialem atansa fanbo. Lebialem paradise for whatever. Lebialem government zombie. Come down to Atlanta.
Up.
Come down to
Yeah,
Atlanta.
that's it. That's it. Thank you so much for this morning time. It has been a wonderful presentation, wonderful discussion. We hope to pick it up. Prof, you have set the pace for our next discussion that will typically be focused on the activities of this convention, and of course, we will not forget about the fundraising. Please begin to send in your money. I saw the chief financial officer has already posted the list. Begin to send in your development dues so that we can achieve this internet hub that you hear Prof talking about, so that our children can flourish in education, business can flourish, and of course, you can relate to your family while you are here at home. So it is a project. It is a global project, even though you've seen that it's being carried on in our area, but it will also impact us here indirectly. I want to thank you guys so much. And until then, I will see you probably next time.
Thank you,
Adios.
Director. Thank you, sir.
Adios.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, dear viewer, we have finally come to the end of this show. And again, do share the link to family members. To those that were not able to watch us live, the link is on there. So we'll leave it online for people to continue to watch. If you have any comment or anything, you can always leave it at the comment section, or you can reach out to us, or even reach out to anything, to the CEO, or to the pro, or to the chairman of the organizing, the chairperson of the organizing committee for this convention 2026. And for until then, we'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.